I would state the obvious. Obviously, a terrific win against a really, really good team. I thought our ability to handle their run in the second half showed a lot of maturity. That we're able to get, for the most part, decent shots in those possessions when they were knocking down some threes. And our bench again, even though the minutes maybe were small, I thought was important. With Tyler being in foul trouble in the first half. And then the boost that Nolan gave us when Steve got his third, and Connor coming in and knocking down a three when we called his number. So just a team that AJ having a really good night. Where Max led us the other night against Marquette. So we had I think the mark of a good team is having different guys at different nights step up, and Chucky doing what he does so well, 8 assists, 1 turnover. Steve having going 4 for 4 from 3. And having 5 assists, 1 turnover out of your 5-man is a heck of a weapon for us offensively. So, getting happy to be able to start out league play and with a win in a very hostile environment against a program and a head coach that I have endless respect for, Coach Izzo. So, just happy for our guys, and I'll take questions.
In front.
Greg, the difference in your team's aggression, 36-22 rebound edge, made twice as many free throws as they attempted. How much of that was a carryover from the Marquette game?
I think that's something this team is developing as we go through the early part of this season. I think the depth has something to do with that I can run lines in, especially at the 4 and the 5, and we're able to keep our our upperclassmen a little fresher, and our younger guys, whether it's been Gilmore and Winter come in as the first line there, but the job that Blackwell has done coming off the bench, and he got his hands on balls tonight too, and I think that's part of it. Just we're able to continue to attack because we're fresh, and I've got good players sitting on the bench that I got to continue to try to find minutes for.
So Nick.
Hey, Greg. You touched on it a little bit recently, but just with AJ in terms of shot selection, defense, efficiency, is this a little bit of what you kind of envisioned with some of his overall potential, and just how impressive has some of this rapid growth been the last 3 or 4 games?
Yeah, I think other than the 3 turnovers, they'd probably be on the film tomorrow or Thursday when we get back together. But I think he's just grown as much as anybody over the last 4 to 6 weeks on both ends of the floor. I think his efficiency, his understanding of what is a good shot, turn down an average or a good shot to get a great shot later in the possession. But if you got one really good early, take it. And I think he just understands. He's understanding it more and more and more. And his teammates have done a great job of helping him along. But also when it does go a little astray, they're the first ones to kind of pull him back to make sure, hey, here's what we need to do to win. And he's bought in 100%. He's been awesome to coach, and obviously he has a feel for the game that he's just a player, and get the ball to go in. He can do a lot of things that you can't coach.
Greg, I'm sure you don't care how you win a game, especially in the Big Ten, but do you see the similarities between the Anderson and Marquette game, taking a lead early, withstanding a surge, rebounds and free throws, making the difference in the end?
Yeah, I think whenever you're playing against good teams, and specifically when you go on the road, you have to be able to control tempo to a degree. You have to be able to get to the free throw line. I think Rick Majerus has an old saying that said, "Games are run on the road, in the paint, off the backboard, and at the free throw line." So I've used that a couple times. I tried that at Providence; it didn't work. But they understand, and it shouldn't matter where you play, but you should try to play that way all the time and be efficient. But I think when you're in a hostile environment and there's going to be a surge from the other team and the crowd gets involved, you have to be able to be sound enough to withstand and execute the possessions. And we've gotten better at executing some of those mid-second half possessions.
AJ had a couple really efficient games like this in a row before the Marquette game. Did you talk to him at all in the last couple of days about some of his selection in that game? And I guess how did he respond?
I think he's been talked to probably from day one. I mean, if there's maybe inconsistent shot selection, I'll talk to him and with the whole team about how it can be better, and playing off 2 feet, not driving a loaded gap, those type of things, just simple decision making. And I think also him understanding how important playing in the post is. We went to him a little bit there in the first half, throw it to him on the block a little bit and let him make a play. And specifically as he got rolling early, knocked down some shots, and I think felt really good offensively.
Coach, it felt like a couple times when the crowd got into it, John quieted things down, whether it was getting to the free throw line, making a hustle play, had to pass to Tyler for the dunk. Have you had many freshmen that have come in here and, kind of made calming plays like that over the course of 40 minutes?
There hasn't been many. I mean, Brad did it, Davison did it, Gosser did it. I remember Gosser coming in and very, very calm and have it showing a maturity beyond what it said in the program as a freshman. So there aren't many, but he's been really, really good in terms of just understanding what it takes to be on a successful team.
Coach on your right.
Greg, over here. You faced a lot of these Michigan State players several times, a lot of experienced guys out there. And other than that, 7 minutes stretch in the second half where a couple guys get hot, never really let them get into a rhythm. I'm wondering, when you look at them this year versus maybe a year ago, what you see and what can be taken away that's giving them some issues in their own offense?
I mean, that's a great question for Tom. I mean, it's hard enough to coach one team, to coach two. I think the biggest difference, one of them, we're better. We're better than we were a year ago. We're deeper. We're more experienced. I didn't have anybody leave last year's team. I didn't graduate anybody. So that helps probably as much as anything. And Tyson Walker's a terrific player. He's a handful when he got going in the second half. I had to switch and get Klesman on him. I thought Chucky got a little tired, but it's going to make anybody tired trying to catch him, especially when he gets going. But I think the biggest thing is I focus on us, and we're better. We're significantly better, I think, than we were a year ago.
Do a few more quick ones, Jeff.
Greg, Tyler set up 13 plus, I think, in the first half with fouls. I think gets whacked in the face in the second half. What allowed him? What did he give you in the second half after sitting so much time and not getting in the flow?
Fresh, that's one thing. I think that, and specifically knowing it was going to take 40 minutes, and then when he wanted to come back in sooner than I even put him in. But I thought we were okay. But that just shows the toughness of him. I mean, he got popped pretty good there. To be able to take that, come back, and really play at a pretty high level. I mean, that was his best basketball. Once he got knocked down and got the bleeding stopped and everything, he was back in and he was ready to go.
Nick and then Michael.
Nosebleed, yeah, it was both. I think trainer did a good job of getting it under control. Nick.
Hey, Greg, you touched on it a little bit, but the switch to Klesman, maybe not a scoring game, right, like Saturday, but obviously made things tougher on Tyson Walker when that switch was made. Just how does that speak to kind of the growth in his game overall? I know you've talked about confidence and just the different ways that your depth was shown tonight.
Yeah, I think it's, like I mentioned, Chucky, I thought I could tell get a little tired, and when you get a little tired, you make a couple mistakes. You let Tyson get loose, get some separation off some of those screening actions. So it was a matter of putting a little different body on him, and I needed a fresher, and I needed to get Chucky it played, the first 9 minutes. I think I got him at around the 11-minute mark, but you say it's only 9 minutes, but chasing him around and doing what he does offensively, that takes a toll. So, then to get him back down the stretch was important, and Max came in and, were able to do a better job of guarding him.
Last one, Michael.
Steven obviously opened a little eyes with his three-point shooting, but, I mean, do you prefer him to choose his spots a little bit more as he's done this year?
If he's open and it's the right time in the shot clock, I think you always want to work for the best shot you can get. I thought the ones he took weren't too early. Early, the first two, they backed way off of him and kind of, dared him to shoot it. And I know his attempts, he hasn't taken very many. But be selective with it. I think understanding, and that's part of his maturity too. I think it's not only what we've seen him do on the glass and in the paint and how effective he is in there, but it's the maturity of knowing what shot to take and when. And even though maybe you have an open three early, you know what? Maybe it's not the best thing for our team right now. So I think that just shows the growth and maturity of that front line.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.